Ladies and gentlemen, here in the room and who takes part online, Ingrid, can you join us now with your camera and micro to say hello to people here? Yes.
Yeah, good morning from Riga. Unfortunately, I cannot be with you today in person because as the commercial counselor for the Baltic states, I am sitting here in Latvia, and it was not possible today to come. But thank you very much for the organizers and for my colleague, this Dalius in Vilnius, to organize this extremely interesting event on a topic that just made it impossible for me not to join. I'm very happy that we have a brilliant Lithuanian expert on it, but above all, I'm also very glad that we could win Mrs. Karina Zehetmeier from Austria to share her views with us. I read that she has an outstanding range of interests, from legal matters, machine learning, artificial intelligence, to human rights issues. And in fact, the topic of artificial intelligence is a many-folded topic that has a lot of opportunities and also challenges. So I'm extremely keen to hear her and also the Lithuanian views on this future-looking topic. Thank you very much and enjoy the event.
Thank you. And as usual, we welcome at the beginning our new members, and today I'm glad to announce that in this night we became one new member. Is a company Actualis, yes, represented by Mr.
Jackie.
And is our old tradition to prevent our members from rainy days in Lithuania. Be safe. And now back to the artificial intelligence. Yes, today's competition between businesses is based among IT solutions as well, and one of these solutions is artificial intelligence, and was it in real life. Our speakers today, Mrs. Katerina Zehetmeier online from Austria and Mr. Dalius Mašalas from Lithuania will introduce you this morning opportunities and challenges of artificial intelligence in Austria and Lithuania. And the event will be moderated by EBN board member Mrs. Katerina. Yes. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So, I will start the presentation. And it's here. Yeah, so, I'm Dalius. A couple of words about me. I'm working in IT for 25 years, and in many roles, starting from sysadmin and developer to manager and company owner. And in the whole career, I understood that two things. IT is not IT, and technology in general is not for the sake of technology. It's for the sake of society and for the sake of businesses and the community as such. And another thing is that it's technology evangelists who has the obligation to explain their technology to the society. So instead of talking in their own language, like doctors or lawyers do, and IT people do, we should try to explain ourselves. And today's presentation goal is to demystify AI, demystify and just explain. It's a technology. It's a technology, it's a tool which can be applied, and many great things can be achieved. But it's a technology that shouldn't be feared, actually. Of course, when we talk about AI, many people think about this guy on the screen, and many people fear that this guy will come, and Elon Musk does add to this fear that no, AI is a very dangerous thing. Or maybe if you have kids and less pessimistic approach, you might think that AI is something that, like this nice fellow here. But everything here is science fiction, and it's going to be science fiction for quite some time, because we don't have technology, we don't have science how to make this kind of intelligence yet. What these guys can do in their movies, it's called artificial general intelligence, and as I said, it's a science fiction. It's a intelligence which is on the level of human, but what we have today is a narrow artificial intelligence. Narrow artificial intelligence is intelligence which can solve one and only one task, for which that solution was built, nothing else. But nevertheless, we use it every day. For example, to open your phone, most of us just look at your phone. It will recognize your face. Some people talk to their phones. Many people use navigation. Like when I'm out of Vilnius, I always use navigation. It's all those artificial intelligence applications which we use every day without even thinking that it's artificial intelligence. It's just convenience for us. And Netflix. You turn on Netflix, you get movie recommendations. That's artificial intelligence. You got your smartwatch. It follows your heartbeat. It follows your. It counts your steps during the day. That's artificial intelligence. You buy tickets online. The price will be generated for you by artificial intelligence. In most cases, that's going to be a personal price for that particular seat that you're looking at during that particular time of the day for that particular geographical location. So these are things that artificial intelligence allows you, and these are quite benign applications when you look at it. But also we have artificial intelligence that can monitor and which can recognize people, which can monitor crowds, and in that regard, China is quite far away comparing to the rest of the world. They have achieved things like recognizing person on such a precise manner that you can go to ATM machine to draw cash from it without any card, without anything. Just stand in front of it, you take the cash. So you, as a person, you are becoming the key to things. And even though those achievements look great, as I said, it's just a technology. And when we think about machine learning or artificial intelligence, one thing is that even though we call it learning, it's not learning as majority of people think. It's not magic. It's just mathematics. So when we talk about machine learning or artificial intelligence, basically we have two stages, like performing a learning phase, so-called learning phase or training phase, and then using the algorithm or the model, which is an outcome of the training. So when we are talking about training, we are showing to some algorithm a lot of data. We're showing the data, and we show generally what outcomes this data lead to. And training phase is finding the function. It's finding a function which, from the input data, will produce the output data. That's basically it. That's just it. Of course, you can do multiple complexities, manipulations on top of that, etc. But in the nutshell, artificial intelligence or machine learning is just finding a function which from your output data will produce your from input will produce your output. And that's why AI actually needs a lot of data. Because in many phenomena you have some complex relationships, some complex data to describe your phenomena. Hence you need sufficient amounts of data for mathematics to extract these dependencies and for mathematics to work and define this function, Talking about the history, artificial intelligence has a history of 70 years, maybe 60, 70 years now. But public boom, most recent public boom in artificial intelligence and the interest from society in artificial intelligence came around 2016. When artificial intelligence solution beat world champion in Go. Go is considered the most complex game because there is just almost infinite number of possibilities, and you cannot go there and just create an algorithm which will lead you to a winning of Go. But in 2016, AI solution did that, and suddenly AI became a big thing. But why are we talking about AI now? One thing is that we've got loads of data. Everyone is connected, everything is connected, and we gather a lot of data. And as I mentioned earlier, data is a precondition to have machine learning and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is moving now in a speed of light, I would say, towards forward. And that is happening because artificial intelligence took an open source approach right from the beginning. That is, most of the things which are discovered in research labs in companies like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, whatever, these things are published. If not immediately, then maybe after 6 months after discoveries, after things are discovered in some lab, everybody can start using it. Everybody can join and improve on top of what was discovered by somebody else. And it also open source approach allows everybody to use those algorithms immediately, whenever we want to. So it's there is no additional cost, so to speak, for business to employ some algorithm or the other. Around 2012, there was a breakthrough in the algorithm research itself. Around that time, what's called deep learning was. Well, I wouldn't say it was discovered, because these ideas were known for a while, but there were first applications and first things which led to developing algorithms which can recognize visual objects with better precision than humans do. So there was a competition where computers were put to task to recognize and mark 1 of 1,000 objects in more than 1 million images. The humans on that task, they do around 5% errors. Computers in 2011 did about 26% of errors. In 2014, the computers did less than 4%. And that was due to employing deep learning algorithms. Hence, deep learning was the reason why we achieved all these breakthroughs. And other things that since that technology became interesting, we've got more people coming into research, we've got more people coming into that field, training, studying, applying it to work. Hence, more people are available for businesses to employ, to use, to create those kind of solutions. Technology is at the level which doesn't require you to be PhD anymore to use it. So basically, typical developer can use it. Even non-developers actually can start using it with so-called no-code solutions where you do things drag and drop. And as I said, it's a media fight. So everybody likes to put Elon Musk on the front page and say, hey, bad things are coming, but no worries, I will save you. When we talk about AI in practical reasons or practical applications, we could say that we have, broadly speaking, 3 application areas. That's computer vision, which is employed in autonomous movement, quality control. Well, wherever you can put a camera, you can probably apply computer vision. Machine learning for predictive tasks, and natural language processing for everything that is related to language. Voice, written word, categorization of documents, everything related to language. AI, being a technology, has to be applied into the right problems. And basically, you cannot run around with a hammer and look for nails. I mean, if you're running around with a hammer, everything looks like a nail to technology people, especially those who invented this hammer. But as a business person, you should always ask if this is the right technology for your problems. And these 4 questions probably are good starting point to decide if AI is good for your particular problem. That is, you should look for places in your processes where you make decisions, where somebody makes decisions, and these decisions are made repeatedly, multiple times, every hour, every day, or every week, and so on. There is a high volume, or I would say actually sufficient volume of data to make those decisions. And there is a monotony. If you have a monotony, then a person sitting and doing these decisions most probably gets to sleep after 1 hour of doing these decisions. And it's worth investing. It's important for your business or for your particular case. Otherwise, say just no, thank you, but no. Several examples. Quality control or sorting things, that's where you could use machine vision. Basically, you can just place cameras on top of your conveyor belt or anywhere where you have your products going through. You can identify if things are in good shape or bad shape. You can employ computer vision in monitoring, like, for example, health and safety issues. People should wear hats on construction sites, high-vis vests, etc. And these things are, well, these are important for human safety. You can put cameras and get alerts whenever something is wrong. Or you can identify a person without a mask in the street, etc. Or actually you can identify if people are keeping their distance of 6 feet or 2 meters, etc. So these are like monitoring things which computer vision can do for you. Artificial intelligence is important whenever you have a task to adapt to the environment. Like, for example, robot hand in the kitchen, which is actually a product which you can buy. It has to understand where some food is lying, is placed, where some utensils are placed, etc. Or in a less glorious way, for example, in production, if we have elastic materials and you have to cut them at, let's say, the exact point where the drawing ends and another starts. Since material is elastic, you can't measure it by meters. You have to put the camera, determine the cutting point, and do the cutting. So these are applications which AI enables, a technology which enables you to do stuff. Logistics, of course, in an autonomous movement is actually, this is where it started, in the big warehouses, where you wanted, where a lot of people were driving goods around from one shelf to another. But of course, these closed compartments are very, very good areas for technology testing, hence it started there. Now we talk about autonomous drive, like Tesla, of course. Autonomous drones, and things like that. Now, once again, coming to practical things. So there are some things in the sky, but practical things. Railways in UK, they had huge problems, or like big problems, if you express it in money terms, when train doors get defective. Like, they just don't open. If the door doesn't open, you have to put this car from a train, you have to run the train on another track, etc., and it gets delayed, it gets messy. What we did, we installed a lot of sensors into the doors and around them, and we started predicting. And we have reduced incidents quite significantly, which led to a lot of monetary savings, like in millions of pounds. Just this single problem. This thing is called predictive maintenance, and we can use it pretty much everywhere where we have conveyors, where we have machinery which has to work, and whenever incident happens, it disturbs itself, production process, or some other things. And probably invisible thing is, of course, demand prediction. Like how much milk, for example, should I produce for tomorrow if I'm a dairy company? Well, I don't know. Retail chains will order something today, and I will have to deliver them tomorrow. But I won't be able to produce that amount during the night. Hence, I have to predict. If I did the prediction right, that's all very fine. I shipped all my milk, and I haven't got any fines because of non-delivery. But of course, that's not true. Some say that there is up to 16% of perishable goods, of these short-term goods, which are wasted as an overproduction to this problem. We cannot predict sufficiently well to produce exactly the amount we need. And AI is very promising in that area. It helps predicting better, much better. And yeah, as AI being a technology, of course, it has its own blips, or failures, or funny stories. So one pretty recent story was that a woman was walking on a bus lane, and she had a sign on her gender here, and AI recognized it as a license plate, and the guy got the fine, although he was on the other side of England. But these are just funny things. And another thing is, for example, there is a very famous among technologists library, which is used for object recognition. So, as I said, open source, everybody is using everybody else's libraries, etc. And this library works pretty well. It recognizes objects. For example, it says it's a specific sort of apple. But since this is a generic library, you can fool that library very easily by just putting a sticker which says something else. So again, artificial intelligence is a technology. You have to have the right problem for that. And it being a technology, it's not magic. It will have its cost, it will have its own errors in application, and so on. So just look at it as yet another technology. Powerful, but it's yet another technology which is here to help us make our lives better. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.